Hi everyone, I'm Rosemary, and today I have another home decor with Lowe's and Home Depot hacks video, this time featuring industrial modern farmhouse decor. In the first video in this series, I did some high-end decor pieces with a restoration hardware slash pottery barn slash West Elm vibe, and if you haven't seen that yet and you'd like to check it out, I will leave a link here and in the description. But for now, let's jump right into this video. I'd like to start with some gorgeous ceramic tile pieces. Both Lowe's and Home Depot have an amazing selection of beautiful tile pieces in a variety of different shapes and sizes, and this tile here comes from Lowe's. It is an 8x8 inch tile, and it costs less than $1 a piece. I love using these ceramic tiles as craft materials, and they can be used in a variety of applications, including trays and shelves, plant stands, cake stands, even wall art can be made using these beautiful and versatile pieces. For the first project, I'll be using this black and white tile, and I'll be making a piece that can be used as either a cake or plant stand. To begin, I'll be painting the back of the tile with some black paint, and then I'll also be using these Dollar Tree stickers to create a border around the edge. For the base of the stand, there are a variety of options, including this Dollar Tree margarita glass, which is one of my all-time favorites, and then of course the old tried and true Dollar Tree candlestick holder. But if you're looking for something new and a little different, here's something from left field, like literally in the cement under the bleachers in left field. This is a rebar chair, and it's what they put the rebar in before they pour the concrete, and at 52 cents, it's a buy. And you can see how it is kind of squatty and funky, but it does give a great industrial look. And then once I'm done painting the back of my tile, I'm just going to go ahead with that same black paint and paint the Dollar Tree stickers. Now, what I'm doing when I'm painting is I'm making sure I'm getting not only the tops, but all in between the stickers on all sides, making sure that the stickers are well coated with the black paint. To make sure I get a nice crisp line on my edge, I'm going to just use a makeup brush to apply the paint there along the sides and just wipe up the top if I get any paint on the top with a damp cloth. And then once the paint was dry, I just went ahead and took my stickers, and I'm going to just put those there along the edge. Now I did add a little of the Titebond glue there along the side to just make sure I had a really good adhesion there on the stickers to the tile. And then once all the stickers have been applied and the glue is dry, I'm going to go ahead and add the base. Now here we can see our three different choices. Here's our little rebarb chair, as well as the candlestick that has been painted black and the margarita glass that has been painted black. And then all I need to do is select one of these bases, add some either of this Titebond or some E6000, center the piece on top. And then here we can see the three versions. In the top left is the margarita glass base, and then in the middle is the candlestick base. In the top right is the rebar chair base. For this project, I think I'm actually liking the tried and true Dollar Tree candlestick the best, but you let me know in the comments which one you think looks the best. Next up is another ceramic tile. This time it's a 24 by 6 inch wood look plank. These faux wood ceramic tiles are some of my very most favorite to use in projects. They're not only easy on the eyes, but at $1.49, they're also easy on the pocketbook too. And this beautiful tile that I found at Lowe's was just $1.35. And look at just how beautiful all those markings are. And they're all different. You can go through and see which one that you like the best. And of course, then on the back, it will need to be finished also there along the sides as well. And we'll just paint those just the way we did the previous one. In addition, I found all of these beautiful drawer handles and pulls. And of course, both Lowe's and Home Depot have almost a full aisle of these, but those are usually at full price. But both stores will sell remaining closeout type pieces for 70 to 90% off. They'll have them in boxes in their clearance sections, sometimes on carts in the front near the checkout, and sometimes just on the end caps. But either way, make sure you check those out, because I purchased these at 90% off, and they ranged in price from about 10 to 40 cents. But do be careful though, because you can get tripped up a little bit like I did here. These are not exactly the same, but you know, I think I paid 40 cents for them, so I will find a use somewhere. And then, like with the previous tile, I'm just going to paint the sides and the back with some black chalk paint. And then once the paint was dry, I just took the little knobs that I had purchased and used those as legs and attached them to the bottom in each of the corners with some Titebond glue. And then I'm going to attach the handles as well using Titebond glue. And I decided to use these little ones that kind of match almost the same color as the wood, but I thought they looked pretty cool. And then here you can see the finished project. So pretty and elegant, as well as quick and easy. And believe it or not, it costs less than $2. And at 2 feet long, it makes quite the statement piece. Don't leave the flooring section just yet, because vinyl tiles are a whole nother option with uses and applications of their own. They also come in a variety of beautiful different styles, and at 67 cents a tile, yep, another buy. I just thought this style was so pretty, and it's a piece of artwork just on its own. And the nice thing about vinyl tiles is that they have their own adhesive back. It's just a peel and stick. And then on the top of that, it's nice and thin and lightweight, making it a perfect option to create wall art. And so all I'm going to do is take a Dollar Tree square frame, and I'm going to remove the matting and the glass. I just want that cardboard back for this project. Then I'll remove the paper from the back of the tile and then secure the tile to the cardboard from the frame. And then I'll just insert the cardboard and tile back into the frame and secure the back pieces. And then that's it. You have a cute little piece of framed art that's ready to go as a single piece, or you can make multiples and arrange them in a group in whatever configuration fits your space. And at about $1.67 a piece, the price tag is hard to beat. Next, I'm going to be leaving the flooring section and moving on over to hardware with these metal corner braces. I use these all the time for all kinds of different projects and actually keep several bags on hand for quick access. They come in bags of 4 for $2.78 and can be used both functionally and decoratively. In this next project, I'm going to be pairing them with a wood round from the Dollar Tree to create an industrial, modern, or farmhouse style candle holder. And I'll further enhance the metal look of these braces with some hammered black metallic spray paint. To give the wood round a little more dimension, I'm going to be staining it with this Waverly Antique Wax, or you could also use regular stain or some watered down craft paint. And then once the round has been stained and the corner braces painted, I'll go ahead and glue the braces onto the wood round. And I did use some Titebond glue to glue the braces on, and I did have to move it around a little bit to get the positioning right. So I'll just use a damp cloth to wipe up that excess glue and then place the piece face down and elevate it on a can to dry. And then that's it. It's good to go. A great little two-tone candle holder that perfectly fits glass jar candles. To create a similar but larger holder, I'm going to head on over to the lumber section, where you can pick up these awesome 18-gauge steel strong ties. They're almost 9 inches long and cost $3.28 for one. And then here we can get a better look at that strong tie. And one thing I wanted to point out is that you do have an imprint here on the side of the metal, which you may or may not want to cover depending on how much of an industrial or actual farmhouse look you are going for. But if you do want it covered, nothing quite beats that hammered spray paint to create a nice rough surface that will cover the imprint. And then for the wood round, I'm going to go ahead and stain it with the antique wax. And then here you can see both pieces after they have been painted and stained, and you can see here on the side of the strong tie how the imprint has been covered by the texture on the hammered metallic spray paint. And then all I needed to do was just add some Titebond glue to the top of my base and attach the two pieces together. To finish this piece, I decided to add one of the Dollar Tree tall cylinder vases, and then this finished piece can be used as either a lantern style candle holder or as a stylish vase that has an industrial, modern, and farmhouse vibe. And then here you can see the two pieces together, one as a candle holder and the other as a vase, and these could actually be done vice versa, with the shorter piece functioning as a small vase or the base of a planter, and the taller piece as a candle holder. Now this next item may be my all-time favorite home improvement store non-craft material, and that is the Strong Tie Steel Flat Brace. Not only is it substantial at 19.5 inches long, but it's also extremely budget friendly at just 37 cents a piece. I have used these braces extensively in projects and could actually do a whole video just on this one material, so let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. But for now, let me just give you one quick and easy purpose that I've used these for. And that is as a wreath hanger. The tie actually has an attractive raised tent-like shape and a galvanized finish. And then all you need to do is take the ends and bend them into shape. The ends are thin enough that you can bend the bottom hook into shape with your hands, and then for the over-the-door part, you can use some pliers to get the right angle. Next, I'll go ahead and give the wreath hanger a coat of the hammered black metallic spray paint, and then I want to embellish the wreath hanger a little further by adding a little hello sign with an oval wood piece that I will be painting white. To transfer the word hello, you could use, of course, a Cricut if you have one, or do the old school scribble on the back with a pencil method and just trace on top of the word onto the wood piece. Another option would be to print the word on your computer and then flip the image to a mirror side. And from there, you can just print out your paper and flip it back face down again and trace the word without doing the pencil step, and the ink from the printer will still transfer onto the wood piece. You'll still need to go back and retrace the word with a Sharpie or paint marker, unless of course you're going for a faded look image. And then once the retracing was done, I decided to do a little border of those stickers from earlier in the video, and then I went back with some Mod Podge and gave the entire piece a couple of coats. To attach the sign to the painted wreath holder, I used some Titebond glue as well as a couple of dabs of hot glue to keep the sign in place while the Titebond glue set up. And now here you can see the finished project holding a large 26-inch magnolia wreath. It is an elegantly simple modern farmhouse piece that can be made quickly and easily for less than $1. For the last project, I'm going to be using this aluminum soffit vent. Now these are used in attics as part of an attic ventilation and airflow system, but I like to use them for all different kinds of projects. For example, here in this project, I wanted something to accent the top of this over-the-door planning center with removable and erasable calendars that I created back when I had to manage the schedules of 3 very active children. The soffit vent created the perfect flat surface holder for the greens that I wanted to add to the top. I added a little faux finish aging, and it was good to go. Let me know if this is a project you'd like to see me recreate, but in today's video, I'm going to be using the vent to create a quick and easy welcome sign. I'm going to start with aging the vent, and to do that, I'm going to just take some dark gray craft paint and my favorite aging applicator, a plastic shopping bag. And then all I did was dab the bag into the paint and just pounce it over the surface of the vent. In order to get into the little nooks and crannies of the vent, I did go ahead with a sponge brush to get down in between, and then went back over it with the plastic bag to create the aged galvanized effect. For the sign itself, I was going to use a board and then trim it with my favorite square dowels. However, they are not kidding about the price of lumber going through the roof. I typically pay half this price for the 36-inch wood dowel. So I was looking for another option and remembered Hobby Lobby's generic chalkboard. And happy day, it's actually on sale this week. So for $7.99, I was able to get a perfect ready-made work surface far cheaper than what I can make it for myself at today's lumber prices. To give the wood on the chalkboard a little color, I did go ahead and stain it with some Minwax stain in the color Special Walnut. To attach the vent to the chalkboard, all I did was slide the vent into the ridges on the inside of the chalkboard frame. I believe those ridges are there to hold the chalk if you're using it as a chalkboard, but it also serves as a great holder for the vent, as it turns out to be the perfect size to fit in the grooves. For the word welcome, I'm going to be using this paper mache sign that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. And this has been sitting in my craft stash for about 2 years now, so it's a perfect opportunity to use it here. But the price tag says it was $5.99, and if you want to use something like this, you can get it when they mark it down to 50% off. Otherwise, Cricut, stickers, and other transfer methods are also great options. I did paint the sign with some white spray paint, and while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and add some of these green stems that I purchased from Walmart into the vent, and I'm going to do in each section, I'll be placing 2 of the larger stems in that top slot of each section, and then a smaller stem in between them in the second slot of each section. Once that's done and nice and fluffed and looking pretty, I'm going to just go ahead with my sign and glue that into place at the top of the board. And then here you can see the finished project and how warm and welcoming it would be either on a front porch or in a front entryway, hanging on the wall, or on an entry table. These vents also come in a 4-inch high size, which would make a perfect option if you wanted to do a similar sign but have more room for writing. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this second edition of Home Decor from Lowe's and Home Depot Hacks. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give a big thumbs up, and please let me know in the comments which one was your favorite and if you plan on making any of these projects. And don't forget, if you'd like to check out the first video in this series, I will link it here and in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.